If you're a follower of international news, by now you would have known or noticed that there's a war going on in the Middle East. It may not be a problem to you because it is hundreds of miles away from home if you're Ghanaian watching. Until you are told that, well, Iran is a major producer of oil, which is what you need when you go to the fuel station in your locality. Now, that's where the consequence comes. That is how, as a Ghanaian, you're going to suffer. The question today on Face to Face is Israel-Iran going to be John Mahama's Ukraine-Russia? Would it going to be an excuse that will be used by this government as was accused or actually accused the previous administration? And what would that war, which is ongoing there, mean? Then we also look at the cedi. It is done very well against the dollar. People are expecting that fuel prices should reduce. Are we seeing that? And if we are seeing that now that there's a new levy that has been introduced, what is that levy going to mean? I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. This is Face to Face on ChannelOne television. My guest today is a man who literally sells petrol and diesel. I'll have a conversation with him when we come back. So my guest is the CEO of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson Oppong. You're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
Doing great.
Young doctor. Oh, you're not as young. Okay, no, you have gray hair. I shouldn't be talking about your age at this time. Hope it's good.
Everything is good.
Life is well?
Fantastic.
Things are good?
Some part.
It's good. The other parts that are not good, pray over them. You'll be fine.
Inshallah.
How is the Association of OMCs doing? You took over a year ago. How has it been like? How is experience here like? Is it something you used to do always, or this is a new area for you?
Yeah, so the company actually used to be Association of Oil Marketing Companies. Now the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. So we actually rebranded last year in December.
Okay.
And I took over as the CEO, or what we call the industry coordinator, last year in April. And so I'm 1 year and 3 months old so far. I think I took over in April, and May, the first hick was the tanker drivers on strike. So that was my first baptism when I had to intermediate between the tanker drivers, owners, the OMCs, and I thank God we were able to come into conclusion within 3 days for the tanker drivers to go to work. Mm-hmm. And side by side, we've been having a lot of engagement to make things work. It was election year, so much focus was on the election. But I believe this year we started well by organizing the downstream dialogue, and obviously we had City very much involved, Bernard. Just this week, just last week, we had a safety week celebration, and at the same time, we have for the past 2 weeks been engaging with the government about this new one cedi levy, which I believe we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. So far so good. It's been good. I've worked in the upstream for quite a number of years, abroad and away, to be precise. Came back home and I worked for Ghana Gas as the commercial manager in charge of economic risk and planning. And I moved over to here, to this place.
So you were with upstream all your life until now?
No, then I went to midstream because Ghana Gas is a midstream company.
Okay, good. So upstream to midstream. And
now
you are downstream. Yeah. So you have actually covered the whole...
Exactly.
Let's talk about the downstream sector. How does it work? What do OMCs do? And first of all, let me be sure, you are a private person, not a government appointee.
At all.
Good. Talk to me about what you do as OMCs. What is your role in the sector?
So the OMC is basically what you guys call as a filling station company. So every filling station that you see on the street will surely be championed by one of the OMCs or LPGMCs, i.e. There are dealer-owned and dealer-operating companies, but they still need to be under the umbrella of an existing OMC. So what we do in terms of our function in the oil and gas value chain is that we are the ECG of the power industry. Okay. So you're going to generate your power, transmit it, and we are the one going to sell for you. So at the end of the day, we interface directly with the end users, be it industry, be it individuals that buy into their vehicles, or doing 1 gallon because their car is stuck somewhere. We had the ECG.
Or the ones they pump by the roadside.
Or by the gao stuff, you know. I was driving to one region and I saw gao just a couple of months ago. I was shocked that gao still exists in this country. Because
let me tell you something that will shock you more. We have tabletop fuel bottles. That's
in Ghana?
No, in Ghana, in Greater Accra, where you are driving by the road and there's a table, which table has bottles, glass bottles of petrol.
Really?
Like the way you see in the Francophone countries.
Yes, so I was going to go there.
We have it here.
I was in Congo last 2 months.
Yes, as in DRC Congo or Brazil?
Both actually.
Okay.
Then I saw that a lot. Uganda, from the city, Entebbe to other part of the town. You have them by the roadside. And
so
in Chad, I was in Chad also. I mean, I saw
that
it.
too.
Yeah. So, but in Ghana, I've not seen it yet.
I'm telling you
but
that.
for Gao, I've seen it.
So first time I saw it was between Boko and Zebila, Upper East. So I thought maybe
that's
that was,
Accra.
I thought that was remote. No.
Okay.
And then Greater Accra, I've seen like
where
at least 5 outlets.
Is it 5 outlets of bottles?
Yes, different places. Like what I mean is different places. And there's a table. And there are bottles there.
Can I ask if it's in the Nima area?
No, it's not Nima. Why would there be a bottle? There's a whole filling. There are a number of filling stations in Nima. This is Greater Accra, and I will take you there. If
Please do.
So they are not under you. That's why you don't know where they are.
It could be a B2B business. I mean, it's a B2B.
It's not a company, strictly speaking.
So
it's a tabletop.
It's a tabletop business.
Yeah, but again, but the problem is that would be a failure of your chamber, because if I have a working fuel station in my area, I wouldn't buy from a bottle. That's one.
Yeah.
2, if the fuel station in my area is not expensive, I will not go and buy a bottle, because what I've been told is that the bottles are cheaper. And what
about quality?
Oh, we will deal with quality later. We just need the petrol to move the car.
We're not going to deal with quality later, because you need to be sure what you buy into your tank, if it's not even kerosene blended.
No, the car that is taking that petrol, it has gone through things that's
exactly
no chemical in that petrol.
So you will surely not buy fuel from that tabletop.
I will not.
It's surely probably this Moto King or those kind of people.
Not just that, even big commercial.
I will be shocked to see a Benz parked near this tabletop buying fuel.
I will take you there one of these days.
I'll be glad.
In fact, I'll take you to a number of them so that you observe.
Sure.
And then you will see what happens. But it goes back to the issue again that if you had a lot of outlets, I'm sure people
which we do.
How many outlets of OMCs do we have nationwide?
That's the service stations.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the street. So the OMC is the company that operates the service stations, which we call the filling stations.
Okay.
So we do have 4,000 plus
in the country,
which is huge. We have enough. In fact, we have more than enough filling stations.
You know my problem with this number? It looks impressive until you realize that a huge chunk of them are based on our border towns, from Boko to Burkina Faso, from from Wa to Burkina Faso, from Navrongo to Burkina Faso, and then from the Togo side. A lot of our fuel stations are dotted there, and what I have been told is that they are there for illegal purposes. Because our fuel is cheaper, people bring donkey carts from Togo and Burkina and come and buy it, and then take it back in the dead of the night. I can assure you that I've seen over 20 fuel stations between Paga and the Burkina border, and this is a very short distance. And the number of cars I saw were not even up to 20 on that route. So it's something I'm drawing your attention to. Maybe you may not know about it. It's an MPA thing.
No, we know about it.
Okay.
I sit on the EBPF committee, so we discuss all the stuff. And as far as there is no border dispute between neighboring towns, I know somebody who lives in Togo and is married to a Ghanaian in the Volta region. So he crosses the border and comes and sleep in Ghana and go in the morning to work in Togo.
He crosses the border to cross and go back.
Exactly. So basically, there are certain level of border, I would say, organization that you want to have. I don't think you're going to stop any car that will enter your country with the view of that he's come to visit the country because of the ECOWAS protocol.
Yes,
right?
But except that when it comes to our fuel, there's a prohibition of exporting to. If I know that if you get fuel from BOST, not from BOST, from BOST or from TOR, you can take it only so far. You are not supposed to take it outside the country.
Yeah.
If you're taking it outside the country, that's a different story. So I'm talking about the smuggling out of the country. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so
it's in huge volumes.
I think the smuggling will be the, I mean, the problem is smuggling when they come with cans to load and go. But if they buy into their cars...
No, they come with cans and load and go.
Okay, then that's a problem.
Yeah, that's what I said. They bring donkey carts.
Okay,
and they use unapproved routes and take it into Togo and Burkina Faso.
That's for sure it's illegal.
So now the issue of the tabletop thing, what do you think can be the solution?
I think... So for me, like I said, this is the first time hearing that the tabletop, especially in Accra.
Yeah.
If it's in outskirts, then it makes sense. Because they need access to fuel, right? But I have done what we call the mystery shopping, which we started last year. And we've done several regions across the country. And we've not come across any tabletop in any region
They didn't take you to the right place.
And no, we do rigid search.
I'm very surprised by this.
Yeah. So
how about the Bruka one?
Yeah, that's the Gao.
Do you see
so
those
the Gao, we've seen a couple of them.
Are they members of your association?
Yes. So they operate under an OMC. So for
So
sure they are regulated.
Okay.
Yeah. So we realize that for that, GSA will go and check if they are selling 1 liter as 1 liter, not less than that. Mm-hmm. No cheating in their pumps. And also check the quality, if the quality is also up to standard. Okay. But one thing you realize is that, I don't know how old you are, but when we were young, Gao was the thing of the day. Mm. The Gao that I grew up to see is not the same Gao I see today in the market. Things are changing. If you look at our filling stations or our service stations, and compared to our sister countries across Africa, we have one of the best standards in terms of branding and even the setup in the space, really. So you understand, you agree with me that Gao is a thing of the past today. I mean, you don't see them rapidly scattered around. Mm. And
there's still some though, yeah.
No, there's some though. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I remember there was only 2 filling stations in my neighborhood. Mm. The rest were go Gao when I was growing up. My father used to go and buy from Gao. I went with him, you know. So comparing what we have today and what we had in the past, I think we've gone somewhere. Mm. And with the number of filling stations, to believe me, because of the requirement of MPA to hold your license, there's a minimum requirement in the growth scope that they give you. Mm-hmm. Members are forced to indeed grow their business, because the more you sell, the more you get revenue. Okay.
I just returned from the US and I have noticed fuel stations where it's self-service. How come you don't have your stations giving self-service in this country? What's the issue with that?
Yeah, I mean, I lived abroad as well, and there was no service station I went and I was served. I served myself with card, and asked yourself if our trotro and taxi drivers have cards to pay. You know,
the payment system is the first issue.
The payment system is the first issue, but I think something that some of my members are considering to have to in order to sell fuel overnight. It's very painful in the middle of the night when you're driving and you don't find a fuel outlet to buy fuel from, when you're running out of power. I mean, let me say fuel. So I think it's something that, I mean, that will be the next stage we need to look at, and we need to talk to the government, which is, our regulators, to see how best we can implement that.
So as OMCs, there isn't an immediate plan to give us self-service stations?
I would say that some of my members are considering it. Okay. And then that will be the discretion of the OMC. Okay. They're not forced to do that.
Now that we've talked about the night dispensing, John Mahama, the president, says he's bringing 24-hour economy, which means that at any time of the night or day, I should be able to get fuel. If your stations close at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., you agree that that's a problem. What would you be able to do or what commitment can you give to the government that you'll be able to play a role in this 24-hour economy thing? Because if the government says, let's work at night, which means people will drive at night and do stuff at night, they should be able to go and buy fuel at night. What would you do to complement that effort by the government?
Yeah, I mean, there have been several attempts by some oil marketing companies to sell fuel in the middle of the night. But robbery and thieves government wouldn't allow them to do that. Some of them have been robbed. I still have videos of such incidents on my laptop that was shared with me by some of the OMCs. And this was even around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, just not so late. And they entered the stores and actually robbed them. We could look at some vantage points. Look at the airport, the Jowolu area, East Legon area, and probably if the government could support that with security measurements, that get the police to surround the places that have this, I would say, 24-hour, I would say, lock-in, so that they'll form a kind of security around the stations. Because it's very painful to be robbed in the middle of the night and have your oil sales gone away, and that's the more reason why the automated machines should be encouraged. And I believe by the end of this year at our AGM, something that will come up to see if members would like to, those who want to explore that and whatever incentives that they need, just talk to the regulatory body.
Except that the people who do the work at the station will lose their jobs, so that's something you should also consider.
So basically, we don't enroll all pumps because they're very expensive, believe me. They're very, very expensive. Okay. So I don't foresee this happening across the entire 4,000 plus filling stations. The Vantage ones, and it could be 1 or 2 change, so that at the night only those can work. Okay. You don't need all 8 pumps to be working at the night.
Let's talk about your relationship. So what's the relationship between the OMCs and then the BDCs?
All right, fantastic.
Are there some OMCs that are BDCs, or you are all OMCs doing your business and then you have to go through a BDC to buy fuel? How does it work, the system, the interconnection?
Thank you. So before the BDCs came, it was the government.
Well, BDC is bulk distributing
companies. Yeah. So before the buyback came in, OMCs were buying directly from the government. The government used to be the only importer of fuel, and at a point, some OMCs too were important. The BDCs are now I would say, the importers of the fuel. So they have the contract and they buy directly from the IOTCs. IOTC simply means the international oil trading companies, and we buy then from the BDCs. So that's the relationship we have, and that's a very good question you ask about who owns what. Today, if you look at some of the BDCs, I think 80% of BDCs have OMCs. Okay. Some of the OMCs also have BDCs.
So they buy for themselves. They buy and sell to their.
And some also buy from other BDCs when their prices are competitive, because the market today is very deregulated, hugely deregulated. So you're looking for fuel that's available and affordable at the same time.
So if I have Sander filling station, I am at liberty to import direct. I can choose not to buy from BDCs. I'm not bad.
If an OMC?
Yes.
No. So today, no OMC can import. You import to
you have to go through a BDC. Yes. That's the law now.
Yeah, that's the policy.
Now, but there are BDCs that own OMCs.
Correct.
And they may import for those OMCs.
Correct. You're right.
And if you're an OMC, you can also build a BDC.
Yes, we have OMCs who also have BDCs. Right. So we have traditional BDCs.
Yes.
Who now have OMCs. Okay. We have traditional OMCs who now have BDCs. Okay. Because so they want to enjoy from the entire value chain.
What is the role of thermal oil refinery and the bulk oil storage transport company, BOST, in this mix?
Fantastic. So the TOR at a point will act as an IOTC if it's selling to the to the market. So it sells to the BDC, to the OMC. Okay. All right. Same as BOST. So BOST is indirectly. So BOST is still a bit a challenge. So we actually discussing that now, because BOST apparently would import like any other BDC. All right. And they cannot sell directly to an OMC. They need to sell through a BDC. To an OMC. And if they are both buying from an IOTC at the same landing price, and now they need to sell through a BDC. I don't know how their pricing really works for them.
So BOST is not a competitor to BDC, or BDCs have become competitors to OMC and to BOST?
Yes, I mean, I could say same. If Tema Oil Refinery is selling through a BDC, it makes sense because it's a refinery. So you look at it from the FOB point of view. So I'm going to a refinery in Europe to buy fuel. So I become a trader. So if the BDC is buying from TOR to sell to an OMC, it makes a lot of sense within the operational value chain of the oil and gas industry. But for an OMC to buy for a BDC to buy from BOST before it sells to an OMC is where we have a lot of challenge.
Has it always been the case that BOST was having this challenge, or is it a new thing?
I think it's become a new thing because if you look at the mandate of BOST is not supposed to be trading. Unlike it's been doing now. BOST is supposed to be a strategic reserve kind of company. So they are meant for national security purposes, that as there's war in Iran and Israel today, should there be limited access or availability of fuel, then the fuel that has been stocked by BOST could be sold into the market.
So BOST is our security company?
Correct. That's the number one mandate.
Okay.
And that is why you see them having
tank farms
across the country, Bupe, Miami Water, Kumasi, Takrady, and everywhere. Yeah. So there's something also we call the zonalization. That also helps the BOST systems to work. And apart from that, they're also supposed to help us with the fuel distribution in the country. Okay. Understand?
Based on what you know, is BOST able to play that role now of being the reserve, the strategic reserve company? And I'm asking this to mean, I do know that there are times where BDCs keep their products with BOST. There are also times where BDCs bring and come and do their own selling. Is BOST properly positioned, considering that it has competitors in the industry, and there are also people who are doing the role that BOST should be playing, or BOST has competitors now? Would you say BOST has enough strategic reserves for us as a country based on all the things you know?
I doubt as we speak today, BOST would be in a capacity to give the country a fuel, to give the country fuel to, let's say, even a week.
A week?
I doubt.
Why?
I doubt, and that is very, very terrific. It's very terrific because BOST as itself, or as an institute, does not have their own products to stock down for us. The product they have today probably belongs to BDCs, and they chat hard with BOST today, this morning, because they wrote me a letter for stakeholder engagement on Friday. So I spoke with them asking for the agenda, what the problem was, and I realized they are suffering to get LACAN to bring products.
What is that? What LACAN?
So LACAN is the authority note that gives you the mandate to bring in a vessel to dock in order to discharge into tanks.
And where do you get that? How does that operate?
So basically, LACAN, you should get it from MPA. That's the overall regulator for the downstream.
And why are they not getting it from MPA? Do you know?
That one now, I'm sure on Friday to come up, because I know that they have a program that every week or so, or every month, they allocate with BDC, BOST, or whoever who need to come up with the tanker. I remember last year in December there was shortage of diesel, and the chamber received a call from one of the BDCs that had diesel that didn't have LACAN. So we intervened with MPA for them to get access to the LACAN to bring that fuel down.
This lack of LACAN by BOST, how bad is it, and how is it affecting their operation? Is that why they don't have enough strategic reserves?
Absolutely. According to what I heard today, that's the reason why they don't have the necessary fuel or in terms of stock.
But does it mean their tanks are empty?
I should believe so.
Or the tanks are full but not with their products?
It depends on what you're looking at. It could be that in Tema could be full. Again, this boss talk about it.
Okay.
That could be full, but we received occasionally, and it's been rampant now, the cross-zonalization notes from MPA. What that means is that there are lack of fuel, there's a lack of fuel in the outskirts, that's out of Accra, be it Tema, be it Takoradi, Kumasi, and the northern part. So that means that their tanks are empty.
At a time that we are hearing that Iran may close a very important route, the Strait of Hormuz, I think it is called, where there may be challenges with importation of fuel or products. If our strategic reserve company has less than 1 week of supply, that is scary, is it not?
That will not even be the most curious part, because the Hormuz passage controls 15 to 30%, I would say, transportation globally, okay, because it's within the Middle East. It doesn't only affect any continent per se, but you'd rather realize that there will be, more demand but less supply in the entire global network. So depending on where you get your fuel from, that's where you're going to have that suffer. What would be the challenge is the cost of fuel, because that will bring a high because of high demand. But for fuel, there'll surely be fuel. But in terms of the price,
ideally, BOST should have about 3 months import cover.
The last
or
time
strategic reserve.
Yeah, the last time I engaged them, we had this. We have this downstream petroleum sector reform committee, which BOST and myself and MPA we sat on. The last time I heard it was two months to 3 months, but I think they're looking around 2 months. But believe me, BOST talk alone cannot take us for 1 week today.
That's scary. This is Face to Face on ChannelOne television. My guest is the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. When we come back, we'll strip bare a liter of fuel. How much does the government take, and how much goes to the OMCs, those who are doing the selling? So imagine there's a ball of kinky. How much of the 5 cities you pay goes to the one who is preparing and selling the kinky, and how much does government take in taxes? We'll talk about that in the light of the fact that there's a they call it D levy. When we come back, please stay.